must say that this farm was really well maintained, and I like the process of the fermentation and some lot of attention into the tobacco and a lot of attention in every details of the process.
I'll explain again. These are what tobacco seeds look like, and what he's doing, he's mixing inside the ashes. Now, the ashes we get from burnt dogs. We burn the dogs, and then we turn them into ashes.
That's what we do in Germany as well.
No, we had someone the last week go, you don't really do that. Of course, man, it's the best. Oh, it's the whole trip. This person thought it was dogs for real. Anyway, so, yeah, listen, so you see now he's mixing it. Ahora enseñale cómo hacer, rega un poquito. The whole point of the ash is just to show how you're going to spread it.
I'm Eric Piras from Cigars, Hong Kong. I'm the founder of the company Cigars, and we are exclusive distributor for Asia Pacific of CLE, CLE, Eiroa, and Asylum.
And the little plant came out. They take a while for them to germinate because it needs to start growing. So after a while, if you notice, any one of these little cups will hold 6, 7, 8 plants, and some don't hold any. So in about a week or 2 weeks, they're going to take with a little pin, it's a little metal wire, they're going to start taking out. It's called rallying. In Spanish we call it rally. Take out all the little ones and just keep the best one. So now it's all about survival. The whole time is about survival. The plants will be here until about 45 days. The plant's going to get to about this big, and you've seen the pictures when it gets pulled out, and the seed, the root itself, it wraps around the soil, so you bring out the whole cup. Sadly, we transplanted a couple weeks ago, so we don't have any tobacco, and it just depends on the weather. Normally, you would see tobacco that's big, and we see tobacco right in the drying and the curing barns. We're not going to see that this trip. We had, when the first seed bed was ready about 60 days ago, there was a huge storm. So all the seed beds were ready, everything was ready to go, but the fields were all flooded. We had a storm that lasted 4 or 5 days, so they had to throw all the tobacco away. So now you're going to see tobacco that was planted on January 11th, January 12th, which is only a couple weeks old, but you see how quickly that tobacco grows. And we'll get to see it as well. I've been watching that progress the whole time. You can't have too much moisture, and you can't have too much heat. It has to be room temperature, and it has to be protected. Tobacco barn. One tobacco barn will probably hold 1 or 2 acres worth of tobacco. Your biggest limiting factor, and the reason you don't see tobacco grown everywhere, is because these barns now cost $50,000 to $80,000 US to build. I'm a big believer of just testing everything. Tobacco barns don't need to look like this anymore. The reason why the tobacco barn is wide inside, because you would put the tractor through. Right. Also in Cuba, they would design it like this because these families didn't have much money, so they would do the sorting right inside the building for about 45 days normally. If you notice, we have the ventilation pipes, and you see the building on that side, you're going to see a stack, because we have heating system. It's called Capriza. It's a system that the Cubans developed in the 90s. They perfected in the 90s. The Americans actually started using this in Connecticut many, many years ago. And what it does is it keeps 24 hours a day, keeps the same climate, moisture, heat. Can't add cool, but when it's too cold, it'll keep the process going. Because if you guys notice here at nighttime, temperature was much lower than it is right now. And tobacco's process slows down when it gets cold. But if you can keep the same temperature 24 hours, you go from 45 days to maybe 37 days, 38 days, and that extra week helps you out a lot when you have tobacco coming in from other crops.
For your hospitality, thank you very much for your time and all the visit and all the discussion, all the talk with the other distributor. It was really interesting, was really good.
At this point, everything is nice and flat. 2 or 3 days later, or actually the next day, the guys walk by again, make sure the tobacco plant's stock, everything was fine, and they replace any of them. They'll have a basket with them. They replace any bad plants, so per acre there are 12,400 plants or 12,500, whatever the math is that time, according to the spacing that you're using, of course. And maybe you replace one every 100 plants or something. So it'll fall. Some will be damaged in the transition. Some won't be drilled right. 2 or 3 days later, you're going to scarb and put more dirt on the plant. You're going to move the soil. What that does is adds oxygen to the soil, and the plant also, from the stem, she can also eat. So she also absorbs nutrients. Everything's about the nutrients to the plant. The whole time, we also have the irrigation drip system. Right now, you can see it's running. Irrigation drip system. Imagine the system we had before, which was getting all that water and letting all the water sit here. What that would do, it would waste a tremendous amount of water, which is a resource that we're running out of. Number two, it would also make it very inefficient. It would compact the soil, and you're using a lot more fertilizer, a lot more everything. So now you punish the soil a lot less, and you give the plant just what it needs, and you can measure it. But it gets to a point where the tobacco is so tall that the tractor is going to damage it, so now you have to do it all by hand.
The farm was really interesting to see the full process of fermentation. Okay, I visited many farms. Since I'm over 25 years in this industry, I visited Brazil, in Dominican Republic, in Honduras, in Nicaragua, in a lot of places, Connecticut. I must say that this farm was really well maintained and impressive. I have to mention wonderful food, typical from Honduras. It was really great, really good discovery, and we had wonderful rum, white wine, red wine, whiskey. It was really great time.
Buen día. Sorting, which is not happening right now, is my favorite part of the whole process. I love the sorting part. It's enjoyable. I can smell the tobacco. I get a good feel what it's going to taste like, and you also realize whether you had a successful crop or a bad crop when you really begin to enjoy it. But I get a lot from the smells. When I smell something, and sometimes I'll get the idea. It happens 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I say, "Oh wait, I want to do this, I want to do that," and I'm all driven by the smell. Can't tell you what the taste is, but I already have an idea. What I know what the cigar, I want the cigar to taste like. I know what the band, I want the band to look like. The boxes, everything. So I have a very clear idea.
I don't know the full name. In a cabinet, 25. You know, the first one. Really, I smoke that every day. But I like also the clay Corojo. I did enjoy. We had also Asylum, Corona, Connecticut. Oh, all the cigars were really good. Really good.
This Habano
Started.
already. The leaf is much bigger. See the colors?
Very nice.
Gold. Now this, big difference. This is tercer corte o segundo? Right, third priming. Third priming is usually yield the nicest wrappers. My father likes this color. I don't like this color. I like it a little darker. Corojo, the Eiroa Colorado, I do this color in Corojo. Not in this. Corojo, if you believe it, is about 5 times stronger when you smell it than when you just smell it. So, in the sorting, this will be the leaves that I would take. And he would take the lighter ones. Because I like the cigars that color right there. You guys smelled that tobacco, that hand of tobacco, let's call it hand of tobacco. From the outside, it doesn't really smell like much, but you open up the inside, there's a very strong smell of ammonia. So ammonia gets trapped in the middle. My father invented these barrels that they spin around. What they do is when they spin around, they open up the leaf. That means that the ammonia that's stuck in the middle escapes the leaf. And somehow it also sticks to the outside of the leaf, but that's not the major point. The reason I want to show you this room is not so much because of what the process is, because the process is pretty self-explanatory, is I want you to go in there and understand why it is that when you smoke cigars, you have to blow the smoke out your nose. If you don't blow the smoke out your nose, you have never smoked a cigar in your life. Does anybody here blow smoke out their nose when you smoke? All right, so you ready?
Yeah.
All right, if you now you understand why you should. Okay? So mouth, And when you're ready, you do your nose just out, and then you'll feel the difference.
Wheel process. Yes, the wheel process was really interesting. He made a joke to let us enter and to breathe with your nose and with your mouth. It was a lot of ammoniac, and this process, I did not see that often in the factory. So impressive, and a big part of the quality of the cigar, of the blend.
Before, what they would do, they would shake it like this. Imagine just 1 or 2 hands at a time.
Yes.
Your damaging tobacco is not as effective as this, because if you stand right here, you see the leaves open up when it's coming down.
Yes, yes.
That's what airs it out.
This is
3 options on the binder, and then the filler, you guys have about 6 or 7 different options. My recommendation is at least 2 or 3 fillers. At least 2 or 3. I mean, if you go one like with Ligero, I mean, it's not going to come out as good as you'll think. As much as you might want a really strong cigar. At least 2 or 3 on the filler. And like I said, touch it, feel it, smell it. I mean, really get in it. Don't be scared to stick your nose right in the middle of that tobacco. Trust me, because you're going to see me do it here in a few minutes as well. Because to be honest with you, this is a similar way that Christian does it when he does blending. Very, very, very similar way. He has 2 or 3 different ways. This is one of his most favorites. So, trust me on that.
Remember what the lady was sorting over there that was left and right? Yeah. That's what it looks like at the end. That's right. These are broken cigars, or set aside because they're broken cigars, but I'm doing just so you guys can see the colors. Because it's toward the end of the day already, so they're about to be done. 6 different colors in that. We don't see it.
For you? 4, 3.
Yeah. Do you see him, Alexander? We can't see him as well as you can. Do you see him?
No.
Listen, I see.
I see this one.
Obviously, I see this one's very dark, and I see this one's light. But to me,
It's hard to tell from this to this.
yeah, right, yeah. These to me are the same. To me, yeah.
Yeah,
But she sees differently. So imagine that happens a lot. Imagine a box of whatever. A guy opens up a box, and the box looks like this. So you're taking away from that customer's experience already when he buys that box. And some companies do it. And some really, really good brands do it, which shocked me that they get away with it. But anyway, that was just a real quick example. And I want to go as dark as this color. And now they know. All they have to do is look at it once, and they remember. I don't even remember, but they do. And the amazing thing also about this process is, going back to that term I used earlier, the Japanese term, total quality management. The Japanese taught us that this system teaches us that every step of the process is the most important part of the process. Right here, they are the last ones that are going to see those cigars before your customers see them in the stores, because you don't open up every box. So you have to trust that every single one has been done right, and that they pay the right attention to it. If you notice here, the amount of attention these girls put on this, it really is amazing. It's impressive to me every time I come here. Even what she's doing over here, she's got to band the cigars, she's got to tissue the cigars, then she's got to cut. You hear them cutting on the other side. They're cutting the edge of the tissue. She's also applying the barcode on the cigars. There are a lot of things going on all the time. Buenas tardes!
Oh, it's well run. I mean, it's well done, the factory. I like the process of the new box. It was really interesting to see that. Really nice, very efficient, very clear.
I like it.
Beautiful, wonderful time. Again, thank you very much for your generosity and your hospitality. It was really great to see the world where you are making wonderful cigar. And I'm very pleased to be your representative in Asia Pacific and to promote. Let's look for a beautiful new year of the dragon.